Welcome to our show, Geeks Who Write Podcast. We're talking about video games, comic books, TV, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. And this week, we have Anthony.
Hi, Bill.
And Joey.
Hello, Bill.
And a Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
Hi.
We're just doing this live because we got sidetracked. We
got very sidetracked.
Quit sidetracking and talk about. We are back to the SouljaWatch.
You're not going to tell us how people can contact us, or are we going to do that at the end?
We should do that right now.
Okay,
just
fine.
Make it easy. You can contact us by going to emailing us at geekswired.com or geekswired@gmail.com, and you can call us at 801-896-4335.
Which spells geek. The last four do, at least.
And you can go to patreon.com/geekswired and help support us. You get access to the podcast a day early. You can listen to the podcast live. You can chat with us on our Discord page. And you also can be one of our top tier people. I don't know, like Dave.
Dave is
awesome.
great.
And that too. All right. We're going back to Soulja Boy.
Soulja Boy.
SouljaWatch.
He has,
So, his lawsuit's been... Whatever's happening with that, but he will. That does not stop. Nintendo does not stop this Soulja Boy.
Apparently not.
Now he goes after the PlayStation.
The Vita, the failed Vita.
Yes.
Which had.
Hey, the Vita was very successful. They just stopped supporting it.
Was it the Vita?
It wasn't really that successful though. The PSP was.
Oh.
I don't know. Both of them were pretty.
I didn't think the Vita was very. Like, I have one, but I didn't get it to play the games on it.
The PSP did take a percentage chunk out of the Game Boy market.
Yeah, the PSP did, and I had the PSP and I loved it, but...
And they have a PSP version.
Yeah, anyways, they got a PSP version of a... Soulja Boy has that now, and what's on it?
I don't know, it's already sold out, looks like.
Well, it's like his last game console. He's been generating all this hype with all the lawsuits.
Yeah, he has to pay for the lawsuits.
Exquisite craftsmanship and fashion design with a reasonable price. Built-in camera for photo shooting and video recording. Support TV output. Can connect to TV.
Hey, that's more features than the Vita.
Yeah.
No.
There's no video out on the Vita.
Actually, I have Spider-Man on my PSP.
That's
what is it, UMD disc?
Scroll down.
Yeah, UMD. Yeah, the Vita had cartridges, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
no video out.
It has 8 gigs of memory storage.
Memory storage?
Well, it says memory.
It doesn't say what's on it, though.
Well, you gotta be careful saying the word memory.
Right, is it flash or is it RAM? Like, what is it?
I basically just assume everyone's meaning it's the storage space.
Storage, yeah.
And it has a sleep function time to help save energy. And it has a built-in high-definition microphone.
I'm still disappointed that Bill hasn't ordered one of these yet.
He can't. It's sold out, remember?
It's sold out. You just barely told me about it.
Yeah.
I'm already too late.
You gotta subscribe to those Soulja updates.
Yeah, SouljaWatch updates. I gotta do the SouljaWatch.
It's on sale for $100. It was $200.
Yeah. Actually, I have to admit the $28 mini Soulja phone is slightly entertaining.
Does it actually work?
Yeah.
Actually, there's
it does.
It kind of looks like those calculators that you had back in grade school, but it has like a color screen on it.
Well, it also supports SMS and can receive calls, and it's a music player. It's like a fully functioning, like...
It's a real phone.
Yeah, PDA.
What was the... Well, there's like the mini phone that's like the add-on to your phone.
Yeah, Palm.
Yeah.
It came out of its grave and built a phone that adds on to another phone.
What?
It's not... But no, Palm got bought. That's why it exists.
This one piggybacks on a Verizon account. You get a second SIM for it.
Oh.
And you can kind of share with this second phone. So
it's like a watch, but it's a phone instead.
Kind of. The idea is that it's going to be a smaller, underpowered phone that you can take around with you, but that way you kind of unplug from your phone, but you still have it so you can call people, text people, be in contact with people.
Protect your phone.
Yeah, basic apps will work on it, but I mean...
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
You have to carry yet another device on you, which is what the purpose of the phone is to reduce the number of devices.
Right, so you carry another one, and then you have to pay a monthly fee to have that piggyback SIM.
If they could do not monthly fees for doing that, that'd be great, but they're not going to do that. I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I think it's cool.
This is like, in my opinion, a worse version of the Apple Watch.
Yeah, because it doesn't just strap to your body.
Yeah, it just doesn't stay there. Because the Apple Watch, you can make phone calls on.
You can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I've only done it once, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a speakerphone, which works, but...
But I mean, if you're going to get the additional SIM card, and you're going to have the idea of, like, you're going to go for a jog or go do something with your watch and leave your phone behind...
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take my mini phone with me. Plus, this thing is still, $350?
I know. I said I'm intrigued. I'm not going to get it. I'm just intrigued.
This is for, like, the people that just have more money than they know what to do with.
I said I'm intrigued.
He doesn't have that much money yet.
Okay. Hey, when you hit that, let me know, because I could have some. That has.
You cannot has.
But if you have more money you know what to do with, I can help you
No
resolve that
has.
issue.
He can help you burn some money.
Yeah.
You might have to edit that audio, by the way.
No has.
It's very loud.
Yeah.
All that has.
And then we're going to have to cut out
Rip
all this.
Headphone users, I'm sorry. I got yelled at last time I did that. It wasn't by anybody on this podcast either.
Moving
Hello,
on.
person, if you're listening. I'll try not to yell again.
People are trying to sleep through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people who actually try to sleep with.
It's like that
Listen to
band
the
that made
podcast.
an album of all silence, and they put it on Spotify, and then they told all their fans to stream it at night. And so people streamed it, and they earned enough money to go on tour.
Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
That's cool.
Yes. No, see, this phone, the Soulja mini phone, that is interesting.
Soldier mini phone.
I am also
I
intrigued
could
by
literally
this.
put that thing in my wallet.
Man, I could have got this for my dad and my brother. They are
Scroll down,
starting up a
please.
side business, and so they just bought iPhones so they can have dual SIM for a second number. And so they could have just had a Soldier phone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He has added a lot of rip-offs products.
Yeah.
I have to.
I don't even know how this is.
How much is that Soldier board?
It's only $30.
That will be guaranteed to burn your house
I know,
down.
I mentioned that earlier.
Soulja board.
Yeah, it's the third one right here.
I don't think you
Oh,
can get
the-
lithium batteries that cheap.
Or is that a mini one?
Well, that's the normal. It's the fake hoverboard. So if you
For $31 though, like that is terrifying.
Oh,
Like the
no, it's
expensive ones will burn your house
Okay,
down.
no, it's a sticker.
Wait, what?
You sure?
Pretty sure.
No,
right
I,
here. Made of premium PVC, the sticker is durable and waterproof. It provides basic scratch protection to keep your
Oh.
electric scooter in prime condition.
man, people are gonna order that thinking it's a hoverboard, and they're gonna be very
I'm
disappointed.
absolutely sure that's what's happening. Because the title is just Soldier Board.
Yeah.
It almost got us.
Well, it did get us.
So we clicked on it. We're like, what?
We were thinking that would be a huge fire hazard.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
probably
that,
still is.
yeah,
I mean,
the
but-
sticker may still burn your house down.
Oh, come on. With all the other price of this product. Actually, some of these are starting to hit legit prices. The $10 Apple ripoff
Not that either.
and the $7 Apple AirPods.
That's only for
Soldier
some
Pops.
colors too. Remember this
Oh,
one's
yeah.
color 2 or color 3?
Oh, no, color A.
Color F, sorry.
Yes.
It doesn't tell you what it is,
Still never
but the
figured it out.
prices change. So
I almost want to buy it just to be like, what color is what is the color of F? Yes.
They can hear you.
That'll happen. Okay, I might get this. I might have to look through how to deal with this though. What did we forget the USB was on this? No, I mean Bluetooth. Is it 4?
It's I think 4.1.
Yeah.
1.0.
Oh,
It better not be 1.0.
there, but it's the one. Starting to get this. It's by Xiaomi. It's one of those Chinese companies that has been being cut off from the Huawei and what's the other one? I think it might be just Xiaomi.
So they're just cranking out everything, trying to make some money while they're cut off from the U.S.
Yeah. They're not selling under their official name. They're selling under the... Actually, that actually raises my trust in this product a lot more. It's just really sad.
I'm still skeptical.
Yeah, those companies crank out all sorts of everything, though.
They do, but they are actually good at it too. Like the Huawei phone I had, it wasn't Huawei's top, flagship phone. It was their number 2, but it took on. It was really up there with the modern flagship phone. So I was like, yeah, I got a good year out of it. I was happy with it. Yeah. All right, fine. We'll move on. We keep on giving Soulja Boy more and more discussion.
We might just have to have a Soldier Boy corner.
Today on SouljaWatch.
Got me all the same color.
There. I should probably add that. SouljaWatch. Alright, there we go. We just added the show notes, and I did not spell it correctly. At least I can Google it correctly.
You also might want to add the Palm thing on there, too.
Oh, yeah. Palm Mini.
The cell phone that you thought was useless.
Still is.
It's pretty useless.
Alright. Let's go through some of the new show notes.
Let's do that one.
Okay.
So, I think we talked about this on here earlier. I don't know if we did, but...
Talked about some of it before.
Just like Sony not doing cross-platform play. Well, they are finally letting people who own Rocket League to play with everyone else now. And I think it also mentions Fortnite in here too.
Sony eventually backed down on both Fortnite and Rocket League, which we talked about previously, where Fortnite made $7 billion.
Yeah,
I
don't know what it was,
something
but it was
like
a
that.
lot.
Lots of billions.
It made as much as Amazon made in 2017.
It could have paid for the wall.
Yeah,
and then some.
But Fortnite's the super winner at this moment.
Win-win. Yeah, anyways, they're enabling it. Actually, it should already be enabled at this point. So if you play Rocket League and you are always sad that you can't play with your Xbox One or PC friends.
With anybody else, basically.
Now you can.
I feel like crossplay between consoles and PC is never going to go well. Like, the PC user is going to always, have a little bit more dexterity or something, aim.
So with Rocket League, actually, I think you have much more control with a controller.
I guess racing games you do usually.
Well, no, this one isn't a racing game. It's just the way that you flip.
You're driving a car and stuff. So.
The way you flip, because you have to flip the ball, and you can only do that. You can do that with a keyboard, but I don't know how you'd be near as accurate as with a joystick.
There are games that the keyboard does not work.
Generally, though, you're right though.
Like Dark Souls, that's impossible on a keyboard.
Actually, you can do it. It's not just that. It's because they designed the controls terribly. Well, it could be done.
So I only played the Bethesda game, Elder Scrolls and Fallout on the Xbox, and it took me a bit to move to PC. And now I don't quite know how I did. I get how I played it. I definitely like the keyboard and mouse better.
Yeah, I have a friend that plays lots of computer games all the time. I told him that he enjoyed Dark Souls because it was right up his alley. And after 2 weeks, I checked in with him and I was like, "Oh, how are you liking that?" And he's like, "It's stupid. I hate that game. It's so hard. It's impossible." And I was like, "It's hard, but it's not that hard. You're playing with a controller, right?" And he's like, "What? No." And then another week goes by and he just loved it. He beat it in a week, playing it just straight through with the controller.
Yeah. That's not terrible. That's good. Everyone can play together, which will be good for the next-gen consoles, for the Xbox 2 and the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting because it won't really be, this one's better than that one because they'll have cross-play other than the, I guess, first-party games. Those probably won't have it. And
then also, the other stuff, though, is because even Bethesda's releasing a game that'll be available on consoles, PCs, and mobile.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's the Blades, I think is what it's called.
New
so
IP?
It'll be like Fortnite is, because it's also mobile.
Well, it's going to be mobile, but it was the one because they ended up talking about it where you can. It's kind of like playing Elder Scrolls on your phone, but you also can turn your phone up and down instead of having to play it left and right.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they actually have been trying to get that to work for a while. So it's going to be fun.
So we're going to segue back a little bit to what you mentioned. Xbox's naming convention.
It's right up there with Apple's.
No, I mean, it
What do you
didn't
mean?
used to be.
Apple
That's pretty
2,
close.
the third Apple, or the iPad 2, the third iPad.
And then
I know.
they've got like
No, iPad 1. I was wrong. iPad 1, the third iPad.
Okay, with iPad, sure. And with iPhone, it's getting kind of messy lately, too. You're not wrong.
they had the 7, the 8, then the 10, and then they've got the X.
See, no, we'll see. So Microsoft copied Apple with the console and the tablet. Apple copied Microsoft with operating systems and phones. Because remember, Windows went from 8 to 10.
Yeah.
iPhones went from 8 to 10.
So Windows actually had a valid reason for it. They follow the revision number of their like code commits. And so they were like revision number 7,000, and then they blew through a whole bunch. They got to the 8, and then they blew through so many that when they were going to release it was in the 10,000s.
Yeah.
I don't
Just
know what
add a
Apple's
zero.
excuse is.
No, Apple's is that it was the 10th generation one.
It was 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, but for those who are actually keeping count, how many subversions have they released since?
Yeah.
No, well, it's still the same generation.
Yeah.
Because, like, it went iPhone 1, and then they jumped to 3G, and then they had the iPhone 4,
Yeah, see, Apple's already off on the bad count.
and then they had the iPhone 4S, and then they had the 5, which supported the 4G. Yeah, it was...
I'm surprised they didn't just stick with 4G GS.
Yeah,
Or
4GS. Boom.
Naming conventions are hard, okay?
Hey, and they partnered with AT&T originally, so it's just coming back around with the 5G. They can have the 5GS.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
They better not name that.
So the apps came out with going back to apps and digital or handhelds. So the app economy was expected to hit $120 billion in 2019.
As small screen leads digital transformation effort. What does that mean?
Where did you see that?
It's in the title.
Leads digital. Basically, the idea that everyone's starting to move. We're starting to put so much into our phones and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also some of the other stuff was.
That's weird that it was feeding back through that.
Oh, well, it's impressive. Your phone has power, the Apple phone. So global app download topped off at 194 billion in 2018, up 35% from 2016. And there was actually a decent cost change. There was, over time, how much, there was more apps purchased last year than by a decent amount.
So this
Please.
number's kind of blowing my mind. I mean, 194 billion apps downloaded last year. I mean, I download apps, but not that many. There's only 8 billion people. That's like a lot of apps each.
So
So,
it didn't blow my mind.
so yeah, because you download a lot, but
I get on a lot of beta and I pre-register and I think I just downloaded yet another game.
so here's the thing. Whenever you got your smartphone for the first time,
Yeah, I guess you would download.
how many
quite a
apps
few.
did you download? Because I know when I first got my iPod Touch and my iPhone, I downloaded a lot of apps.
Yeah.
So this is what I was talking about. That's what number I was looking for. App Store consumer spending topped at $100 billion in 2018, up 75% from 2016.
Dang, that's a lot. People are finally shifting, though. I mean, a lot of people don't even have like home computers now. They just have a smartphone. So
I know the idea of spending 4 digits on a cell phone is instead of your computer or your laptop is not unheard of for a lot of people because they can do almost anything. And when a lot of apps are starting to slowly make full versions on their mobile devices.
makes sense, I guess. I mean, people get more comfortable spending. Like it's like the internet, you know. It used to be don't ever put your credit card number in, and now it's like, hey, internet, what else can I buy on you today?
Yeah. But then, they're starting to get the security thing back. There's a lot of that. Social and communication apps grew 50% last year. The Facebook's number one app is WhatsApp.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I
They
believe that.
like give that thing away, and its utility is amazing.
And I forget what it was, but there was also I went through this. The number one country that pays for apps and downloads what do you think is the number one country? Let's go with that.
South Korea.
No,
Japan.
they're third,
Oh man!
but only by a little bit
Canada.
below second place.
Canada.
Nope.
U.S.
Second place,
You're
distant,
UK.
very distance from first place, and not
UK?
UK.
Oh.
Is that Australia?
Think size of people. Not
China.
Yes.
That makes sense. Actually,
number of-
man, I can't believe
China or India.
China.
we're really dumb.
Well, actually, with India would have made sense. But there is the large majority of apps are about 60. Is that it? I think I may have found it. 65% are down. No, that's 65% of downloads are non-game apps. But China outleads everybody, and it's a distant second when America comes in, and a very short third to Japan. Actually, so
That's impressive. I mean, America's spending half as much as China, and Japan's almost spending as much as America.
yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, and it's not even just even spending, because yes, the majority, the most popular apps are the ones with subscriptions. Netflix.
Not anymore.
is-
Netflix's subscription, at least for iOS, is not in iOS anymore.
Actually, it hasn't been. iOS has been like that for a while. But iOS
For a couple of months, yeah.
Well, okay. That's not the first thing that Apple has run into with that. Apple also has that with Comixology. You cannot buy comics through Comixology through the Apple's App Store or through the app on Apple devices. You have to leave the app and go to the web store to buy your stuff.
What about on Android?
It works just fine.
That's weird because they take the same percentage cut.
It's apparently they decided they
Okay.
Apple hated it more, or they negotiated something. Yeah, it's
Anyways,
Well, Netflix is about to make some more money, right?
yes. So that's the other thing. Yeah, with segue.
segue.
So Netflix is set up to raise prices, and there's a show note in here somewhere. Maybe I'll find it later. But so Netflix is raising the prices of everybody's subscriptions. Interesting on how that's going to work on a few things. It's already been done in other countries for certain like super premium plans and sub plans and all this other stuff. And the biggest thing though with it is I think they're prepping, because apparently I was under the understanding they were still sitting on piles of money trying to figure, because no one was selling them rights. But they intend to, so like they're raising prices so they can compete against like NBC, who's going to release theirs soon, which is going to be free if you own a subscription service, or $12.99 if you don't. I know, I'm like, really?
That's really interesting. So NBC is going to start charging if you don't have another streaming service?
Yes. If you don't have, well, not a streaming service. If you don't have a cable or dish or, so, yeah, so a subscription.
That makes sense to me. That's just the like HBO subscription model. Like
But
HBO
we're
is like
talking
what,
about
10, 15?
federally funded broadcast television
Yeah, that's a little bit bad.
with commercials. By the way, did I mention commercials are staying in that?
It's the Hulu subscription model.
It's the bottom Hulu subscription.
Yeah.
Now. I can't find the link now. Of course not. But, so they're probably prepping up for all that, knowing that they're probably going to have to raise prices. Yeah, I expect this to...
Well, they should have more subscribers soon, too.
Oh, I remember what else. And the top, 20 Netflix watch shows, half to 3/4 of them are not owned by Netflix.
Youch. That's got to be expensive for
Number
them.
1, The Office. thing too is Friends, which they just fronted like however many millions of dollars to keep that for another however long. And I think the Office one is getting ready to come up in about a year. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Netflix cost them $100 million to keep that service, or keep that.
The Office?
No, Friends.
Friends?
Yeah.
So there's some big names.
Mm. So they could lose. They could, but that, at least they can put money back into their stuff. There's something. I'm sure there's another show note somewhere in all this.
For Netflix?
Well, no, there is for Netflix, but I thought there was something that I had put in.
I thought I read something recently about Netflix getting ready to ban people who are sharing accounts.
You mean that one?
So, the answer to that question... Okay, so let's go back to CES. Somebody made some software that can go, hey, this account is being used by somebody else based on location, viewing style, this, and all this information. And hey, Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and everyone else, we can totally work with you on this. And Netflix came back and said, we don't care. We know people share passwords. It's the idea of Netflix. You know, it brings us together. Plus, on the other side, I think Netflix over the rest of them have that down just fine. How many times are you going to share your password? Well, the more people that start watching your stuff, guess what? Now the main payer is going to have to pay more.
Bump up to one of the subscription that has multiple streaming or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense because if you share too much, you can have like, I think a basic account can have like 2 streams, and then you have to pay more for like 3 or 4.
1, 2, and then 4 in America.
Is that not enforced already online? Or
What?
you were saying that now they should expect to pay more?
No, if I share my account with you two and I'm only on the 2 viewing at one time, and we all decide to watch at the exact same time,
It's going to kick
kicks
one
one
of
of
us
us
off.
off?
yeah. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pay for the 4 watching at the same time. I have to pay more now.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't the price hike. Pay more. This is
I know. Like
if I want more, I do pay more.
I must have misunderstood. I thought you were saying that they hadn't done that yet, because I was sure they did.
So yeah, Netflix doesn't care. Is basically the entire thing. They are totally fine with people sharing their passwords.
What is this article? The name of it? Why does it say we've got bad news?
Well, that's it. Okay, that's the clickbait. Sorry, articles have clickbaity thing. Hey, look at our article. Okay, but the reading through the article, you get the what I told you. I just TLDR'd it for you.
They use the word millennials. I already hate this article. Click out of it. You don't have to click out of it.
Yeah, Netflix really is the streaming service juggernaut, though. I mean, when you think streaming service, it's Netflix.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
Then it's Prime and Hulu, other weird ones, but Netflix is the king.
Yeah.
Or HBO.
HBO definitely at certain times. Actually, HBO's made fun of a lot of the time that nobody knows who owns the original HBO account.
Yeah,
Everyone's always asking somebody else for the password.
Everyone
Mhm.
shares one just to watch Game of Thrones. That's the real thing on HBO.
And they're another one that knows that it's pirated. They don't care.
Oh, they care.
HBO might care,
Well,
but
they kind of care, but they also don't care for the thing as it makes them popular too.
Mhm.
Because even though Game of Thrones is probably the most pirated show in existence, it also makes the most money. So
it's pirated, and then people will actually later on buy the DVD when it comes out,
yeah.
or the Blu-ray.
Yeah, so they make money on it in a lot of ways. Plus all the merch.
Yeah.
All that merch.
And so my thing with all these streaming services, getting away from the idea of paying $120
We're getting back to
cable
it.
bill. Yeah, we're starting. I'm almost thinking I want to start going like, oh, I will spend X amount of money for my streaming services and cancel the old ones.
Mhm.
You know, so like it's Game of Thrones time. We're subscribing to HBO and we are canceling Hulu. And actually, I have to admit, Hulu, of all of my... I have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. Yeah, I get free 2-day shipping at the movies.
Google.
Just kind of come with it. Yeah, Google with YouTube and music. But I admit, Hulu's definitely the one on the cusp.
Is it?
Yeah, because I kind of watch the locals mostly on it.
Oh,
Yeah, they have like a lot of one-off shows that you can't really find on the other streamers, and like they're more up to date. I think like Netflix, like you can catch a Netflix original, but something that's on TV and like streaming weekly, that's not going to be on Netflix for another 6 months or something
Until the season ends, usually.
Right, and so Hulu really keeps you up to date on like things that are currently on cable without having to have cable. Amazon Prime is just kind of filling like any gaps in your Netflix library, and then HBO has its one-off content like Game of Thrones, so
I
they all
can tell
have
you,
niche markets.
I've never used my Amazon Prime stuff.
I've used it only to watch the Sopranos.
Oh,
I watched The Tick.
Was a Tick on there?
Yeah, Amazon remade The Tick.
I knew they. Oh, I didn't know they remade it.
Oh, I also use it to watch Man in the High Castle.
So, okay, I gotta get back into that because I kind of watched it. And then I kind of walked away from it, and I just never walked back.
And we watched Jack Ryan. It's an Amazon Prime original, and I use it for the Grand Tour.
Actually, they also just want to
So,
Yeah, I take that back.
Slightly useful. Prime is
Actually,
doing well.
I'm
I
also
did watch the Grand Tour.
Yeah, was it The Marvelous Miss Maisie? Or
Yeah.
is that it?
That one's on there as well.
I'm kind of curious. They just won a bunch of awards.
Man, okay, so Prime is doing pretty well lately.
And I think that's it. Is where I have the Chromecast. I have a Roku, but because I have to boot up the Xbox.
Yeah, we have a Fire Stick, and we have to switch over to it because we use our freaking Chromecast for everything, and then we're like, oh, what about this one show? And we're like, oh, we have to pull out the Fire Stick, turn that on, find the remote, where'd it go?
And Amazon I actually was super supporting. Whenever I bought shows or anything, it's all in Amazon. I was like, hey, this is great, this is simple. Now my shows are starting to get separated. My seasons of shows are starting to get separated in between multiple things.
Yeah, there was a developer that made an app called Primecast, and it would let you cast Prime, and it was up for 2 hours before he got like threatened with lawsuits into oblivion.
Yeah, that I can see that.
Yeah, it makes me consider though. Can you cast to Roku's?
Yeah, I think you can.
I might consider switching all of my Chromecasts to Roku's if that's a possibility, because they have the Prime app, and you could cast to them from your Google Homes. I've got like 7 Google Homes, so has to be compatible with that. Like that's the breaking point.
I have the bottom. Well, I have the bottom end Roku, like the
$20 one.
I think it was like 10 or 15, but yeah, it wasn't bad. But I was like, it does just good enough job. I bet if I would went higher, I'd probably be less annoyed or less, would be willing to try it out more. I was able to get shows that were very difficult to get through the App Store because some channels, like if you have the subscription or anything, they don't quite. They have like multiple apps, and then where they also have multiple channels. The app only covers these channels, but doesn't cover those channels.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. So it's like you can get like ESPN or TBS or like some weird one-off channel instead of like an entire library like Netflix or whatever would provide.
Yeah. Well, even like HBO. Like when you get HBO, you get everything HBO has, no matter their sub-channel.
Mm-hmm.
You get Sesame Street. Can you say something? Okay. Okay, I like this one. I really, really like this one. So, a magazine called Motherboard ended up paying paying somebody paying a bounty hunter $300 and said, "Hey, can you find us by just using our cell phone?" Bounty hunter took the $300. Now, here's the other thing. Yes, I'll admit $300 is kind of a decent amount of chunk for most people, but it's really not a large amount of money to just find somebody, especially for what you get. yeah, he found it fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's a little unsettling. There's services that provide this, and it's fairly cheap. I think it's like $20 or something.
Wow.
And you can ping a phone and get the location.
And yeah. So that's the thing. And this isn't the apps that are a totally different issue. This is your carriers. This is T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon. Pick your one that I forgot to say. All of them do this. So what has happened is T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T have all said, we are going to shut it down. I think AT&T is saying in March or April they're going to. I think it was AT&T was going to completely cut off all contracts with anybody with location. T-Mobile and Verizon were going. No, I think T-Mobile was going to cut off new contracts, and I forgot there was something else. And Verizon was just going to make sure third-party people couldn't do it. Oh, no, I remember. Verizon was actually the hokiest of them all. Verizon was only going to do it if customers accepted it. So that hokiness is the same reason why all your Facebook data is out there. Because we all accepted it and not really knew what we had to accept it or some other malarkey.
Yeah. You want a phone with Verizon, you gotta be okay with this.
Yeah. Less hokey, Sprint is not saying anything. I'll admit, it's super malarkey on their side for just being quiet. But at least they're not just flat out misleading
lying
you.
To people, yeah.
Lying to us to our faces. But yeah, that's crazy though about the.
It's pretty terrifying. I mean, it's bad enough when your flashlight app is hey, I need your location, but it's really bad when your provider is selling it.
So going back to the hokiness thing.
Yeah.
So remember how Apple got in trouble for throttling the older phones so the battery would last longer?
Mm-hmm.
And how no other device manufacturer went out and said, "Oh, we don't do this," even though it would have been a perfect time for them to do it for PR.
Yeah,
is kind of that reminded me of what Sprint's doing. So the fact that they're not saying anything means they're probably doing it.
Oh yeah, they probably don't even care.
So, yeah, that's all I had to say.
There was another one. I thought I threw this in I must have thrown this in the wrong column. There was another thing that, let's see. Maybe that was it. Google's going to go through the App Store and start shutting down apps that ask for your phone and text information and did not put in did not give ask for permission through Google. They're just going to and give a legit reason either, because it's not even you need to look at all their SMS messages. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they're going to start reviewing them. So if it's a flashlight app that's hey, I want to read your text messages and know where you're at, they're going to be that's not reasonable, and they're going to take it down.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it makes the apps more honest. I mean, getting a flashlight app for free is great, but not at certain expenses.
You don't need most devices have the ability to activate the flashlight on its own now.
Yeah, now they do, but
back in the day they did. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's also really stupid, and I understand with some of the lockdown, they needed permissions to install on your phone or to access your storage or whatever. Okay, I'm kind of so about this feeling, but okay, fine. And then there's the others. I run into games and apps and all that. It's I need access to your phone or to make phone calls. No, we can't work. Go away.
yeah, I think they just need to essentially tell it, sure, you can access phone calls, and then don't actually give it access. They need to spoof that so the game can't actually pivot one way or the other. I think when games ask for that, so that they can pause if you receive a phone call usually. But I mean, they should make another a more granular permission.
Detect when a phone call is made or something.
And I think there was. Yeah. I think I had some fitness apps Zombie Run or something like that had something with that, but they didn't even use it as the phone or as like the phone log or phone call. It was, I think it was to recognize the change in like, hey, the phone call's coming in, and the phone has demanded priority over the headphones.
Right.
And at that point, the app was like, I'm pausing. I got you. Something bigger came in. I don't care what it is. It said it was priority.
Yeah. So that way it can just kind of take a step back, stop for a minute until you finish your phone call. And then when it detects that it hung up, it can continue what it was doing.
It's like, I have power again.
I think they definitely need some more granular permissions, though, because detecting when a phone call comes in is different than I need access to your phone call and your call logs.
Yeah. I guess this comes with, I didn't see this one before, that it's, with Google's new permissions on their OS for SMS and call permissions, it's crippling some apps. Honestly, when I start seeing that and it starts destroying the app, and even the storage, I'm kind of like so-so about some of the storage because I have plenty of apps that don't ask for that and some apps that do, and I'm like, I don't think I like you enough to actually give you permissions.
Yeah.
Especially when I first install it.
A lot of the changes to the permissions, like, it can mess up old apps because, like, if they're making them more granular and the app used to, like, just use the blanket, I can look at your phone calls, like, and then they need the more granular ones and the app's not being maintained anymore, that app might just be dead at this point.
But Apple even has that. Like, this is definitely a lot of Google side, but Apple even runs into a lot of that with the update of their OSs and all this. There's actually some companies that are not putting out new apps or new games or stuff because they're spending millions just to keep the old ones working.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of app maintenance, and if you put something out there, and like, let's say it's your first app ever, you have a user base of 100 people that really, really like your app, but you don't care about that app at this point, and so it's not worth your time to go back and fix it, and so those 100 people are just SOL.
Which is why the subscription-based thing is better for that.
Yeah,
because you have a small user base.
Yeah, if you have a dedicated user base, then it works out. But I personally don't like that model. But I can
depends
see
on how much they charge.
Yeah, I can see the points for it.
And there is some like, how much do I use the app? How much do I get out of it? And and plus we usually with the monthly fee and I think I prefer annual fee even. Because then it's like, oh yeah, here's money. I'm good for the year. I don't need to think about this. And if I use it a lot, I guess.
Yeah, the annual fees are nice until when like Prime sneaks up on you.
Yes. I just renewed mine.
Yeah, mine auto renews at the end of December, beginning of January.
I think
that's a terrible time for it to auto renew.
I think
it really is.
Got out. I think last year. I even looked up. I think I got away last year with the $99 one.
Yeah, I think mine was like 120, and it just like hit my bank account, and I was like, man, what did I buy on Amazon? And then I was like, oh, I bought Amazon.
Yes.
You bought all of it.
I bought the
It's
privilege.
pretty cheap.
I bought the free 2-day shipping.
Yeah, the privilege of shopping on Amazon.
Yes. South Park has been having a heyday with that.
Have they?
Yes, they've been making fun of that. Actually, along with that. Again, another show note I don't know. I really should just like chop all these show notes out because I can't find it. The Microsoft made a deal with Walgreens, so Walgreens is going to be using Microsoft's 365 and their cloud service, and Walmart's doing the same thing. Yeah. So
what's the deal?
It's not Amazon. That's the deal.
Oh, so bring your large customer-facing websites to our cloud, and we'll give you Office 365. Is that's the deal?
No. Bring it to us, the tech company, not the company that is putting you out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Walmart's competing directly against.
Oh, so really they're just trying to take a stab at Amazon because it's coupled with its AWS.
Not necessarily. I think they're just more of hey, we're not giving this money to our direct competitor. We're going to give it to this other person.
Yeah, that's probably very appealing to brick and mortar stores. And I mean, when your cloud choices are, realistically, your cloud choices are either Microsoft Azure or Amazon's web services, or
DigitalOcean.
Well, DigitalOcean is a little bit different though. They
They
provide
are
VPSs.
different.
They don't provide an entire cloud. I mean, there's like Google's cloud, but really, your big cloud providers are either Azure or
Mhm.
AWS.
And well, okay, I am slightly surprised that Walmart didn't go with Google because they sided with them for Google Express and other things.
Well, Google's kind of directly in the market with them though, because I mean, like Walmart does a lot of payments and stuff.
Mhm.
Google has all of their Google payments,
Mhm.
Google Checkout, this, that, the other, and like they have Google Shopping. You know, like you go click on shopping results, and it's got everything that's Google Checkout. And,
But Walmart's on their list because of Google Express. Walmart has one of those priorities over Amazon for that list.
they probably pay a lot of money to be on that
Yeah.
list.
True. Yeah. There's like linking things together. We actually are going through these way faster than I expected.
Yeah.
Well, and even stuff I can't even remember. Okay, how about this one?
I'm
We'll-
intrigued by it. I don't know anything about it, but
all right. So, fine. That who gets there.
Facebook's 10-year challenge.
So have you
What
guys
is
been seeing
that?
this?
No.
Okay. So for those of you who have been on Facebook in the last little bit, there has been this thing of
Oh, this. Never
take a
mind.
picture of yourself now and then get up and then compare it next to a picture of you from 10 years ago.
I thought it was your first picture.
So based on this,
I think it was a 10-year challenge. A lot of people are doing their first picture.
based on this thumbnail, it looks like they're trying to do machine learning on how people age.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't officially, but somebody brought up the question.
I
what
didn't even
if-
think of that.
Yeah, and it was a joke, kind of. But yeah, actually, yeah, somebody made fun of it. Like, hey, this would be good for machine learning or all that.
You know, I'm not big on conspiracy theories, but I really don't trust Facebook, and that sounds too real.
I don't. Well, the thing is, that
Well, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
here's this too. They already had these pictures,
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to go with.
so
That
I
brings
don't
it
think
back
it's.
around.
It's already dated. It's already
They've
labeled.
got all the
it's already-
metadata. They know where you took the picture.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Unless you strip that before you upload it, but most
Yeah.
people don't.
but I mean, they've got it. They've got an upload date. They can figure it out. So really, they don't need you to tell them where your picture's from. Plus, a lot of people are gonna lie. I've got a friend who uploaded one, and he looks totally different in the current one, and in the previous one, he's wearing like a speed racer helmet. So I mean, pictures like that aren't gonna help him much.
Yeah. Well, for somebody who's an outsider looking in, just reviewing this.
Yeah.
For Facebook, they're like, yeah, we got that. I admit, I actually looked at it. I was like, this is interesting. The funniest one I saw was the first picture for the Doctor. Doctor Who.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's an old man in his first picture, and he's a younger lady in his last picture. Or she. I
Okay,
forgot the Doctor said. Probably quit saying he is, she.
they
They. The Doctor is now a younger lady.
in the newest one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Making fun, like, I age pretty well. No, I was looking at these when I was on Facebook. Like, oh yeah, this is the thing. Okay, I get it. It seems like a lot of work. I really don't want to do this.
Yeah. I haven't been on Facebook in I think 3 weeks now,
I have my.
so I'm not going to get back. on it.
I check occasionally, but like the more I scroll through it, I'm just like, I don't care about any of this stuff that's in front of me. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it's ads, a lot of it's just stuff
All I
just
do
don't care
is
about.
get on there, poke back the people who poked me, and then get off.
Yeah, I just think I need to poke you back.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I've been liking Instagram more.
Yes, which is funny. A lot of people like that. There seems to be less hate or less.
Which is weird because they're the
weird.
same company.
It's the same company, but it's definitely a different feel. Like with the images and the.
Yeah, people usually post, like a picture of something that really matters to them. You know, they go on a vacation,
Yeah.
they post a picture of their kids, like they post a picture of themselves doing
Mhm.
something. It's something that they're enjoying instead of just like, hey, you want to buy some essential oils?
Yeah.
You
Well,
remove
especially-
all those people from your newsfeed.
Well, and especially with Facebook, oh, look, this looks like a tweet. This looks like an Instagram post. This looks like a repost.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. It's fun.
His nose all pressed up against the window.
Yeah, speed racer
Yeah.
helmets, man. We should get some of those for the podcast.
Well, let's go back to Let's get some patrons. Some more patrons.
You just need a couple more months of Dave it being great.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep. We have room in it.
One more person, right?
No, I opened it up
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Oh.
It's not fully open, but we have room.
We have room.
We have room.
Is it like one less than 20 billion?
If you go to patreon.com/geeksrewired, you can see how much space is left in that tier.
We'll see.
There we go. We're leading to that. With that, sorry. I've been collecting lanyards for the many, many years of doing podcasting, and Joey just decided to put them all on. Oh, actually, half of them.
This is only half.
There's more. Actually, that might be like a quarter in
There's
reality.
so many lanyards.
That might only be a quarter in reality. Now that I think about it.
Oh, man.
I think I have more. I think I might.
Listen to this.
Oh, you can't get up. Over the headphones. Yeah, let's see. There's more over there. And I might have... I don't know. There's more around somewhere. I think there might be a box full of more.
You know, I normally don't collect things, but I really like that collection because you can just get a lanyard pretty much anywhere you go.
Oh.
It's going to get given to you. Like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And some of them came with like cool stickers or cool, little things. I have bought lanyards actually because it's, someone were like, hey, this looks cool and it works.
Right? Plus, when you're done with a lanyard, you just retire it to the collection.
Yeah. Or I need a different lanyard. Let's go to the collection.
Yeah, there you go.
So, with that, we probably should do famous last words.
You don't want to talk about the other thing that's on there?
What's the other thing?
I don't remember.
I don't know. You're going to have to, point it out.
The Game of Thrones thing.
Game of Thrones.
It's at the very bottom.
Oh, yes.
It has
shall
a release
talk
date.
about the Game of the Thrones.
Man, I need to finish my Game of Thrones
Yeah, you
first
do.
watch through.
Yeah, because you have...
I have one season left.
Oh, then you're not too bad.
That's
Well-
still like 6 hours worth.
That's
7
okay.
hours.
I'll watch it
That's-
this weekend or something.
It's a good.
It's like a small Netflix binge.
Yeah,
a small
it'll be a
Netflix
fun
binge, he
fun
says.
6 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, April 14th, I think,
Yes.
is the
Dang,
date.
that's coming up quick.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was expecting like midsummer at the earliest.
No, so we already knew the.
We're already behind. by
Well,
a year.
I know that they normally do like October or something. When were they
it was
coming out
normally
before?
October, and then it went to April, and then they skipped a year.
Yeah.
But no, we already knew that it was going to come out in April. We just didn't know the exact date.
Well,
And now we have a date.
it really complicates things when you run out of books and you're just out on your own.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think we're going to
he's-
get any more books.
Yeah, it'll.
At
I
this
don't know,
point.
man. I hope he.
It's
I
been a
hope he,
long
I
time.
hope he
He's been-
kicks out one more.
He's working on other things already.
I know, and he kicked out like an art book or some canon history type stuff. But
Which that's cool, but
I don't know, man.
HBO's already going to make different shows, spin-offs.
He's so young and spry. I think he's got another book in him.
if you want to learn about all the like prequel stuff without reading it, there's a cool YouTube channel that will link in the show notes.
Okay, we shall link
Or
it in
you
the show
can-
notes.
Or if you allow me, I can just say it.
You can say it, and I'll link it in the show notes.
Okay. It's-
https://
No.
www.
The YouTube channel name's called Alt Shift X. They do a lot of
Alt
Ding.
Shift S
X,
X.
like extreme.
like X-Men.
Ooh.
Except for you remove the E on extreme, and all
I like
the
the
other
X-Men
letters.
part.
X-Men works better.
There. It's in the show notes, so I can try to remember to put it in. Yay.
Yay!
Unlike other things that I have not put in. All right.
Yeah,
Famous
wow.
last words.
Go ahead, Bill.
Oh.
Yep, sucks, doesn't it?
No, I even had one semi-prepared. Let's see. A spider in your bedroom and being unable to sleep is the real-life equivalent of unable to rest. Monsters nearby.
And the first person to hear a parrot speak probably freaked out really bad. I stole that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Lanyards.